Hey everyone, happy Pride Month! As I mentioned in my first video, I absolutely adore fighting games. Two series I love in particular are Darkstalkers and the Marvel vs. series. Not too long ago I was checking out this mod of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 called Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Community Edition. One character in particular caught my eye, Dimitri from the Darkstalkers series. Of course, any new Darkstalkers character added with this mod would catch my eye, and while I do love more women in fighting games, for more reasons than one, the Marvel vs. Capcom games were a total taco fest in terms of Darkstalkers until Infinite added Jeddah, if you catch my drift. But Dimitri in particular stood out to me over John Talbane thanks to one move, Midnight Bliss. Midnight Bliss is a super move of Dimitri's that's pretty iconic. It's a command grab where Dimitri transforms the opponent before sucking all of their blood. It looks a little something like this.
Come on, baby.
One thing that is interesting about this move is that each playable character in Darkstalkers has their own form they are transformed into with this move. However, the mod version simply has the screen fade to black with sound effects before the screen return. This is completely understandable as this is a fan-made mod available for free. Plus, there's a lot of characters in both Marvel vs. Capcom 3's base roster and this mod's added roster. So it makes sense they wouldn't want to put in the time to give all 119 and growing characters unique designs for this one character's attacks. But that's got me thinking, what would it look like if various other fighting game characters were transformed by Dimitri's Midnight Bliss attack? So I decided to draw 4 different designs for different fighting game characters under the effects of this attack. Before I get to those, I would like to establish some rules. First is the rule I imposed on myself for this video. That rule is that any character who already has a canon Midnight Bliss form is ineligible for this video. I only want to create designs for characters who don't already have them. Next is the rules of the attack itself. While the Darkstalkers series itself doesn't have super consistent rules, the SNK vs. Capcom games do. If a character is male or masculine presenting, or even genderless, then they are transformed into a feminine version of themselves. However, if a character is female or feminine presenting, then they are changed to be wearing more fetishized outfits, sometimes with the character's body changed to match. Now that we have the rules for these designs, let's get right into this first one. For this first one, I decided to draw straight from the series that led to this video's creation, the Marvel vs. series. Specifically, I decided to do one of my mains from Marvel vs. Capcom. One of my mains is Morrigan, but I couldn't do her for this video thanks to my own rules. Although, if I do a sequel, I might do her since her canon Midnight Bliss design is kinda awful. Since I couldn't do her, I decided to do my other main, Captain America. He's been one of my mains since playing Marvel vs. Capcom with my brother when we were kids. We were introduced to it thanks to a random pizzeria we went to one time having it, and we've been fans ever since. We played it all the time on our previously mentioned modded Xbox. I guess the Capcom lawyers are a little more forgiving of emulation. There was a couple ideas I came up with for this design, like having strands of blonde hair poking out from under the helmet, or even getting really extra and adding a boob window, or adding gaps in the armor to show more skin. But ultimately I decided to stick with the same design but a different body type. The shield turned out a little wonky, but overall I'm pretty happy with how this design turned out. He does look a little bald, but his Clash of Superheroes design is just kinda like that. For this video, I wanted to have an even mix of masculine and already feminine characters, and the first character to come to mind for that second category was Baiken. She's been my main in Guilty Gear since Accent Core on the PSP. And since Guilty Gear is easily my favorite fighting game series, she was a natural pick. For her Midnight Bliss design, I picked a Playboy bunny outfit. This was picked for two reasons. Firstly, Baiken's whole fighting style is built around her many weapons she has hidden in her clothing, so this outfit gives her nowhere to hide her weapons. This works both as a funny little frustration for her, and it makes sense that Dimitri would want to weaken an opponent before feeding on them, even if only partially, since she still has her sword. Secondly, I kinda really love when tough, badass women wear sexy outfits like this. There's just something about strong, intimidating women that is just so... mwah, chef's kiss. Anyway. Since I didn't have to worry as much about completely revamping her design, I feel like I was able to have more fun with the posing. Next up, I wanted to pick someone from the Soul Calibur series, and ultimately I went with Link. Now, I know it might seem lame to go for a guest character instead of someone like Cervantes or Mitsurugi, but Link being in Soul Calibur 2 is actually what got me into the series, as The Legend of Zelda is kinda my special interest. After finding out that Link was in it, I saved up to get the game to play on my old Wii. Unfortunately, I never actually had a GameCube until very recently, so naturally I had to take advantage of the Wii's backwards compatibility. I actually still have that same copy of Soul Calibur 2, although I shockingly still haven't 100%ed it, which is weird since I usually try to 100% the games I play, especially when The Legend of Zelda is involved. There was a couple of things I considered doing for this design, such as using the costume I use, the one based on the Zora tunic, or having him using the weapon I primarily use, the big Goron sword. I even considered adding some of the items he uses in his moveset to his hip, since the bombs, Zora boomerang, and fairy bow are so important to his kit. But in the end, I couldn't pass up using his iconic Kokiri tunic and Master Sword. For the last one, I considered several iconic fighting game women, as well as some more obscure ones. However, since this is Pride Month, assuming I get this video out on time, I decided to pick a character who I share an identity with, being Bridget from Guilty Gear. Now, she's the first character in this video that I don't main, as I'm terrible at setup characters in fighting games, no matter how hard I try to get good at her. But I've always really related to her and her arc, even long before she came out as trans in Guilty Gear Strive. Plus, if I'm going to be doing a repeat series, it makes sense that it would be Guilty Gear. For her design, I decided to go with the classic trans girl outfit. oversized hoodie, and thigh-high socks. And of course, I couldn't leave out Roger. I did take a bit of liberty with how far progressed she is with HRT, but I'm pretty proud of this drawing of her. For those of you that have followed me since before this channel, you may remember the Pride Month drawing I did a couple years ago of Bridget in May. Honestly, it was kinda cool getting to redraw her and see how far I've come since drawing that piece. And there we have it, my 4 what-if designs of Midnight Bliss. I'd love to do a sequel if you would all be interested. If you have any characters you would like me to make a design for in a theoretical sequel, let me know in the comments. And if you get the chance, you should seriously check out Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Community Edition. It's seriously so cool. I hope you've all enjoyed this video, and happy Pride Month!